Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. Yeah, Thursday, 17th of February, 2021. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome. RJH live stream, Thursday, 17th of February, 2021. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, what a weather. Whoo-wee. Been a bit blowy, so I've got a nice backdrop that'll cheer us all up, eh? So another month and we'll be in this. Another month and I'll be in Spain. But yeah, the weather. One storm finishes and it's calm before another storm. So yes. So yeah, welcome live stream. All about the CBT tonight. So it's all about the CBT. It's going to be a good one. And probably be between an hour and a half and 2 hours. So stay tuned. It's going to be good. And that chat room's going to be too hot to handle. So, yes, welcome. RJH live stream, Thursday, 17th February 2022, talking all about the CBT. The CBT. Trust you're all well. It's been, been a little while from a live stream, getting a bit out of practice, but I think I've got everything back on track. I had a Sunday night with Bobble Biker, but felt a bit nervous and anxious, but getting back into the swing again. But yeah, weather is being very, very poor. So well done, big congrats to all of those trainees that have braved the weather this week. The rain, the wind, the cold, lots of people completing the tasters, lots of people completing the CBTs, and we've had lots of successes on Module 1 tests and Module 2 tests, so it has been a busy week. So well done to all of those that have come through the RJH schools. And also well done to those that have passed their tests up and down the country, been letting me know. The YouTube channel has helped them. And indeed, people have travelled to Manchester from different parts of the country and passed. And indeed, we had Paul passed this week as Module 2 from down south. So well done to you, Paul. Yes, it has been a month out. No excuse, just personally, lots going on. A lot of projects have been boiling up to fruition, and couple that with just self-motivation hasn't been there, Liam. This last few weeks been just busy elsewhere. But we are pleased to let everybody know we have a new school opening on the 1st of March, which sort of came out of the blue quite quickly, but that's in Runcorn. So RJH has a school in Runcorn, and I'm very pleased to say that we've got a new homepage on the website. So let me just pop this link in. Anybody wants to have a look, you can let me know. But it's, personally speaking, I believe in our industry it's the best there is. So have a look at that. Tell me what anybody wants to have a look, tell me what you think. But 4 sites. RJH Runcorn is the newest site. And lots of other projects building up as well at the moment. So that's why I've not been on the live streams, Liam. Just been very tired mentally, and motivation has been elsewhere. That's all it is, as simple as. We're back on track. So tonight is all about the CBT. We will be doing that competition. That historical competition is continuing. So we are prepared to give a free CBT worth £199 We will be opening up a competition when we have 100 people watching the live stream at the same time. So the only way we're going to get to that 100 watching at the same time is if you, ladies and gents, get commenting away in the chat room, like the video and share it. And then while we're actually broadcasting the live stream, the YouTube algorithms will be picking it up and so forth. That's the only way we will get up to 100. So keep chatting in the chat room, comment away in the chat room, like the video, share it. That's what we ask, and let's get it out there. Once we get to 100 people watching at the same time, I'll get 3 questions. First correct answer gets a CBT worth £199. Can be used across all our 4 schools. And if you've already got a CBT or you've got your bike license, many of you have, we can send you a voucher and you can give it to your nearest and dearest or a friend or something, and they can use it. So it is transferable to somebody else, and that's worth £200. So, you know, it's there for the taking. It is there for the taking. So let's have a look who we got in them before we get cracking onto the CBT, and you can fire away any questions and so forth, MS, good evening to you. Liam, yep, good evening. Electronic Smoke UK, good evening to you. John Davis, good evening. Got your CBT tomorrow. Hey, I'm glad you posted that, aren't you? A week tomorrow. Tomorrow, yep. So good luck with your CBT, John Davis. Scott King, good evening. Scott, really missed my bike. Unfortunately, I was involved in a hit and run and broke the top of my humerus. Have you or anyone on the team broken their humerus, and how long will it go to? Not that I'm aware of. None of us have. You know, good luck with your recovery, Scott. Take as long as it takes. If it takes a month, 2 months, you can only go at your pace. I'm sure we're all sort of different, aren't we? Paul H, good evening. Paul H, passed in Chester today. Good man. Well done. Sylvia over at Northwich. Good to hear. MS question. My driving license has dates against category A. Does that mean I can ride motorbike without needing the CBT? No, you cannot. You have to do a CBT to ride a 125cc. If you pass your full car test before February the 1st, 2001, you can ride a 50cc. But no, you cannot. You do need to do a CBT. And if it has got numbers on the side, 73, that's your full car license allowing you to ride a tricycle. So nothing to do with a motorcycle. You will have to do a CBT. So yeah, lots going on. Lots been happening. The topic of this evening is a CBT. And everybody okay with the backdrop? Nice palm trees, blue sky. Feel that warmth. Just puts a smile on your face. Okay, so CBT, compulsory basic training. Everybody has to do it, and it's a course of safety. It's not a test. It's a course of safety, which means that you can legally get out and ride a 50cc or a 125cc on the roads. And learn your trade. Okay, it is basic training. It's not a test, so we don't look at it as a pass or a fail. It's completing. It's getting to a standard. So your instructor will get you to a standard, and you know, enable you to get out and learn your trade. Okay, so CBT, that's the topic. In the description below, you will find lots and lots of video clips that will help you. It will give you an insight into what is involved on the CBT. So do take a look. Do take a look and get yourself in the zone. And of course, on any of the videos, get a question, and we will always get back to you. All right. So CBT then, compulsory basic training, and it was introduced in 1990. All right. So 1990 is when the CBT was introduced. So what's that? How many years ago was that? 31 years. And it's not really changed in that time. Okay, the content of the CBT has not really changed. It's aimed at learners upwards, a new rider upwards. So it's geared up to, forgive the pun, geared up to learners. And what has changed, I suppose, over the years is the certificates changed, because I think it's a different size now. So it's a A4 size now, and it has in the past been an A5 size. It has in the past lasted for 3 years, but now currently only lasts for 2 years. So it's changed in that sense a little bit, but the content, what's involved within it, hasn't really changed. So CBT, introduced in 1990, and I suppose the aim of the CBT is really 3 very, very important aims, or if you want, goal objectives. Now, number 1 is that when you've completed your CBT, and we don't call it you've passed your CBT, and we don't call it you've failed your CBT, although those terms are commonly used on websites, and it may even be on our website, because when people are searching through the search engines, pass, fail, those are words that are commonly used. So, but we don't say that you've passed your CBT. What we do is you've completed your CBT. And we don't say you failed your CBT. We say you're just not at a standard to get your CBT, so you might need to put a bit more time into it. If you start thinking of passing and failing, then you're going to have a different approach to it mentally. But the 3, when you've completed your CBT, and bear in mind also, you might not complete your CBT on the first sitting. It is not uncommon for individuals to have to return on a second time, a second day, a different day, because they are not at a standard to get your certificate. So very important to bear that in mind. And I'm not just talking about my school, I'm talking about any school up and down the country, because there's a lot of you that watch the videos from up and down the country. But don't go into your CBT expecting to get your certificate on the day, because it might not happen. What you need to do is work with your instructor. You need to listen to your instructor, and you need to take your instructor's feedback constructively. Okay, and don't, you will be a bit disappointed, I'm sure, but don't think that you have failed. We don't think of that. Just put a bit more time in and listen to your instructor and go in with that approach. But the three very, very important aims on completion of the CBT, and as we said, might not be the first day, so don't be too disappointed. But the three aims of the CBT are, number one, to improve road safety generally. So once you've gone through the course, you then will be in a position that you can contribute to improving road safety generally. Number two, you can contribute to reducing the accidents involved in learner motorcyclists. Now, might be an interesting one for you to take on board, but accidents involving learner motorcyclists have been reduced by between 50 and 70% since the CBT course was introduced. So it is worthwhile. It is worthwhile. And number three, very important aim, is that the CBT will validate the provisional entitlement on your license. So if you're 16, it will validate the 50cc, the moped, and if you're 17, it will validate your, if you want to ride something a little bit bigger, like a 125. Now, if you pass, there you go. If you complete your CBT when you're 16, at 17 you can go up to your 125 because you've only had it for a year and it lasts for 2 years. Okay, and that's how that works. The one exception then is that if you pass your full car test before February the 1st, 2001. So if you pass your full car test before February the 1st, 2001, you can ride a 50cc and you don't need to do a CBT. And the CBT was actually introduced on the 1st of December 1990. So there's some useful dates for you there. So that's a little bit about what the CBT is. It's a little bit of history about the CBT. And I suppose the best thing then is to think about what's involved with the CBT. And the simplest way that I introduce it is the 5 parts. So think of A, B, C, D and E. So element A, element B, element C, element D and element E. And it's like building blocks. You have to go through them, A, B, C, D, E. You cannot go from one and skip one and go to another. You have to go in order. That's how a learner develops. So it's all there in a logical way. So element A is your introduction into CBT, what's involved, aims, objectives, and how the course will progress, and talk about in detail, a bit more detail, what's involved. So element A, helmets, clothing, that sort of thing. Element B, the bike, maintenance, familiarization, stands, wheeling it around, first go over the front brake, stands. Element C, riding the bike, lots of different exercises like moving off, stopping, slow speed, braking exercises, gears, rear observations, U-turns, junctions, emergency stops. Lots of exercises on the element C on the training yard before even going on the road. Okay. Element D, pre-road talk, what you talk about, highway code, road surfaces, weather conditions, lots of topics to get you thinking about dealing with stuff on the road. And going on the road element E, the minimum of 2 hours minimum, and it might not happen on the day, so bear that in mind. As we said, it's all about safety. You need to demonstrate you are safe to your instructor before they take you on the road, because the instructor has a responsibility. He's got a duty of care to your safety, so listen to your instructor. Now, there is no time to all that, although as a school we will have a cut-off for Element C at 1 o'clock. So if you're not at a point by 1 o'clock to go on the road, it's unlikely with us that you will go on the road. You will be invited back, because at the end of Element C you've got to have your lunch and you've got to talk about Element D. That's another 45 minutes. You're not going to go on the road until probably 2:30. Might be 3 o'clock, which then you start getting tired. It's a long day, getting tired. So we have a cut-off point about 1 o'clock. But our aim, obviously, is to get you on the road, get you safe, and get your certificate issued, which enables you to get out and enjoy life on 2 wheels. So that's a sort of rundown on a CBT, and we're going to go through in detail all of those points. But before we do that, I'm going to just revisit the chat room, catch up and see where we are. Let's go along, let's see where we are. Yeah, well, if you go in with that attitude, MS, failing and passing, then, you know, that's your thing. But no, we don't call it a fail. You've just not shown a standard that your instructor is comfortable giving you your certificate. But listen to your instructor, work with your instructor, and, you know, if he can see that learning's taken place and that you've improved, then, you know, as long as you are safe, then you will be issued with your CBT certificate. But don't think it's hard. I know it is hard, but he's got your safety at the forefront. Good evening, Sophie. Nice of you to join us, Sophie. AW8, sorry to learn of your disappointment. Comment to indicate what feedback you got. Yeah, you've got to listen to your instructors, haven't you? Simple. Listen to your instructors. Yep. Now, what did I see a bit further back here? Somebody mentioned yeah, highway code changes. We are looking at a video on that AW8. I just need to get out on my bike and it will be live. Live footage of the changes specific to motorcycling, which would be left and right turns giving way to pedestrians that are not only on the crossing that you're going into, the road you're going into, but are waiting to cross of the junction you're going into, not the junction you're going up to, the junction that you are turning into or turning out of. So yeah, I mean, it's all big focus, isn't it, on the more vulnerable road users, pedestrian cyclists. So yeah, lots of mixed views, but hey, it's here, and we've got to go with that. Unless you are going to take on the government and put a petition to get it changed, but it's here. My understanding is it is here to stay, so we've got to work with it. But yeah, I'm just going to let the weather improve, and I'm going to get out and do some live videos of, particularly of left and right turns. James, does your license get updated? No. When you complete your CBT, not when you pass it. Remember, we try not to call it a pass, we call it complete. Stays the same. We notify, your training school will notify the DVLA, and it'll be on record. You don't need to carry your CBT certificate around with you. Keep it at home safe. What I would say is get a just take a screenshot of it. And keep it on your phone, but keep that original copy tucked away at home somewhere safe so you don't lose it. Because if you do lose it and you need a copy, then there is a charge to get it. Yep. MS, you will enjoy your CBT, especially if you come to one of RJH sites. Anyway, nobody's commented on that homepage of our website, www.rjhgroup.co.uk. I'll put the link in that chat room. Have a look at our homepage. Let me know what you think. Nailing a slow control. Videos in the description below, MS. Lots of videos of slow speed control and explanations. So take a look, but practice. It's all about practice. It's all about putting the time in. How much time you need to put in depends on you. Everybody is different. Work with your instructor. Listen to your instructor. Put as much time in as is advisable, and you'll get it. You will get it. So, just to remind everybody, free CBT up for grabs, worth £200. What we do want is 100 people watching a video at the same time. Our record is 62. We have had 62 people watch a video at the same time. If we can get to 100 people watching a video at the same time, we will open up that competition. 3 questions. First correct 3 questions will be, get a free CBT. If you've got your CBT, if you've got your bike license, as many as you have, we will forward you a gift voucher. It's transferable. You can pass it on to one of your loved ones or a friend or whatever, but there is a CBT up for grabs, £199, but we do need those 100 people viewing the live stream at the same time. Okay, so get chatting, get sharing, let's get that out. So CBT, we know what it stands for, we know what it is, we know what it enables us to do. Age 50, 16, 125, 17. It is a provisional, no motorways, no passenger, L plates front and back, and it lasts you for 2 years. No, give it another month, Lisa. Another month, and I will be topping up that TAM. I thought I'd get this on the background to cheer everybody up because the weather is appalling, and apparently it's going to be appalling tomorrow. So we will see, won't we? Homepage has lots to offer, including bikes to buy, etc. Yeah, bikes to buy. That if you have a look at it, those have been sold. But yeah, my sort of what brief I had for the guy that designs the website. I want people to land on the homepage. I want people to know what we do, and I want people to know where we are. So that now you can see exactly what we do, and you can see exactly where we are, and you can then see what a fantastic area we cover. Jeffrey, good evening, Jeffrey. I've got my CBT on the 12th of March and I want to get a Lexmoto Diablo just because of the price, and I see a lot of people saying it breaks all the time, so I'm just thinking it's worth it to spend more money. So yeah, I mean, you know, proof is in the pudding, isn't it? It's what people say, Get yourself a second-hand Honda CBF 125, lots of tidy ones around. Honda CB 125F, and you've got the Honda Groms, anything Honda. Suzuki GSX 125s, fantastic. Kawasaki Z125s, fantastic. Yamaha YBR 125s, fantastic. Those four for me are the most reliable. I mean, I am a Honda man, but Honda, Kawasaki, Suzuki, Yamaha, won't go far wrong with any of them. But yeah, look at the reviews. If people are saying that, then I've not got any experience with them. But if that's what people are saying, you've been given a heads up, aren't you? Chicken lines. John Davis, being able to have your helmet strapped tight enough with space for two fingers is good. I recommend making sure you have good movement of your head and your helmet is safe. It's all good, yeah. Website looks nice and clean, easy to navigate. See, you have a forum and your trail riding on there also. Yeah, we've got a fleet of Honda CRF 300s and we are introducing trail riding, all being well, from the 1st of April. That's exciting times. We have a head trail coach, not giving him a title yet, but it's all looking exciting. So, and that's A2 compatible, because the 300s you could ride on an A2. So any full license holders that are on A2 or an A, yeah, you can come and spend the day with us. Let's go and get muddy on a bike. Yep, come to RJH MS. You will not be disappointed. You will not be disappointed. Right then, so preparation. When you book your CBT, give it some thought. Don't book it and think you can come along and complete it when you've worked nights before, worked the night before, yeah? Because you will struggle. Yeah, we all need sleep. You need to prepare, make sure, so every school is going to be different, but not so different. You need to be on time. So don't turn up an hour late and expect to get on the course, because you will not. You will be turned away. It's too late. So we have an 8 o'clock start, 8:15 cut off. If you're not on time, you're going to struggle, which puts pressure on everybody. Take responsibility and get yourself to your training centre on time. It's your responsibility, not ours. Make sure you've written the information that you've, whether it's an email confirmation or a text or whatever it might be, your school will tell you what you need to bring. It'll tell you what you need to wear as a minimum. So take that responsibility. Get everything ready the day before. Don't leave it to the last minute, because you will struggle. If you're turning up with the wrong clothing, yeah, we provide the basics, helmet, jacket, gloves, and so on, but we don't provide boots. We don't provide. So take ownership. Listen to your school when you're booking it. read the information and make sure you bring everything that you're asked to bring, and make sure that you're wearing everything that you've been asked to wear. You know, if you wear glasses for driving and you leave your glasses at home for your CBT, you're going to fail your eyesight test. Simple as. If you fail your eyesight test, if you can't read a number plate, then you can't expect your instructors to train you. Take that responsibility and plan. Prepare, plan, and take ownership. Take ownership. Yeah, you're all having a good old chat in there, so I'll carry on. So you arrive on time to your CBT. You might be on your own, you might be with a group. Depends. One of the first things your instructors are going to do is sort of check you in. They're going to check you in. You're going to, show your instructor your documents, and he'll give you an eyesight check early doors. There, you'll get an eyesight check, and providing everything is in order, and everybody is there, then your CBT will commence. So earlier you get there, quicker you start. Get there on time. Remember, preparation. So first topic of discussion will be Element A, which is the introduction, which we've talked about. License, what you're able to ride. We've talked about how long the CBT will last for and what you can do with it, what you can't do with it, i.e. no passenger, no motorway, or no pillion passenger, no motorway, L plates front and back, roadworthy. Talked about that. And how long it lasts, what you need to do with your certificate, what we do if you lose it, this sort of thing. So once that's all been done, the CBT will be discussed, what it stands for, the history of the CBT, what's happened, i.e. accidents involving learners have been reduced by between 50 and 70%, those sort of things. So that introduction, how the course is going to progress and so forth. And then you'll go through each element and what's involved and so on. And then it's really into the clothing, helmets, and a discussion around what you need to wear legally, what you would consider wearing, and why. So it's all about pros and cons. So it's a good discussion. It will probably last 30 minutes. Could last a bit longer. But at the end of that discussion, it would be fair to say the objective is, at the end of that discussion, you'll have a better idea about what you want to go and buy and why. Because helmets come in different styles, different materials. And if you're new to ride, just don't know. So I would always recommend, if you're going to be getting your bike gear, wait until you've done your CBT. Because at the end of the CBT discussion, you will have a better idea about what you want to go and buy. And I suppose also where you can buy this stuff from. Let's have a little dip again into the chat room, just in case I'm needed. I'll be needing an eyesight test before I go get mine. Yeah, we'll get. Working favoured locally by many if you're not going to RJH in Manchester. Check lines, good idea. Have a look on your site, very well put together. But where's the bikes for sale? They're gone. So the only any listing of a bike for sale will be on our YouTube. We do a YouTube channel video. But they've gone. So we do, I suppose, regularly have bikes for sale. So as you can see down there, it's on a news feed. Kawasaki Z650s for sale. We don't keep bikes older than 5 years old. And those, the Kawasaki Z650s were on a 17 plate, so about 4 years old. And it was another bike school that bought them off of us. So that, were quite tidy still, but we don't like having bikes older than 5 years old. So we don't let them get too bad. We try and pass them on at a fair price. So there's Mr. Paul Keating, mad old biker. Congratulations, Paul, for passing your Module 2 with us in Manchester. And Paul travelled up from, was it Essex or somewhere down there? Maidenhead, is it, Paul, or somewhere down there? So, we do attract people from up and down the country. But a great result for Mad Old Biker, full license holder now. So yeah, first thing, helmets. So it would be brands, where you can get them from, what sort of prices you could pay for them, the pros and cons of materials. Yeah, Cambridge. So well done, Paul. So good discussion on that. And the message, I think, that would come out regularly on the discussion with the helmets, the sort of the phrase, there's a couple of them. You get what you pay for. You buy cheap, buy twice. You only get one head. What price do you put on your head? Buy the best you can afford. So there's 5 or 6 phrases there which you probably hear regularly. So don't scrimp on it. Buy the best you can afford. That would be my clear message with your safety helmets. Now, we have a bike school on J&S in Northwich on their site. I have a bike school there, and if you're not local to the sort of Northwest, J&S have a fantastic website. They've got 30 stores up and down the country, so there will be a J&S near you. Now, J&S in Oakmere is one of their, what they call a flagship, I suppose, a flagship store. Best selection of helmets and gear that I've seen. You won't get a better selection, so go in and talk to the guys, and they can guide you, because certain brands will fit you better, I suppose, than other ones. And go and speak to them, but buy the best you can afford. And remember, what price do you put on your head? So bear that in mind. But yeah, good discussion on pros, cons, visors, pinlock visors, sun visors, fastenings, colours, styles, fits, cleaning them, what would happen if you dropped them, and all around that. Now, just a little question in there then for any of you ladies and gents, just to make sure you're paying attention to me, make me feel good. Then who doesn't have to wear one? So who's got that question? Who's got that answer there? Who doesn't have to wear a helmet? Jeffrey, you won't go far wrong with Honda. Honda, Kawasaki, Suzuki, Yamaha. Those are the 4 good ones. Now, MS, not constantly yelling. We don't yell at pupils. That's me that's in that video, and play it back. I'm not yelling at him. I think I'm as cool as a cucumber. His name was Karim, but certainly wasn't yelling at him. Karim was his name, and that had a real lot of views on that one. It must be a 5-year-old video, that. If anybody's looked at the YouTube channel, I've had a bit of a revamp on it, a bit more organisation, and the YouTube did something funny over the last week. Over the weekend, my YouTube channel did something funny. The subscribers shot up in one day by about 200, and I thought, blimey. And then it went back down to like minus 160, and then it went back up again in mine. So over about 4 days, it was going up and down like a flipping, well, like a, what is it, a kangaroo? It was up and down. Anyway, it settled back down again to what it was, sort of like an original. But I was getting all excited, thinking, oh, they like that one, they like that one. So anyway, I've sort of had a little jiggle around again at it, so it's in a bit of an order. Some new thumbnails. So I think to the eye it looks a bit more professional. But let you ladies and gents decide on that. Yes, certain counties in America you don't have to wear a helmet. But talking about the UK, religious exemption, yeah. Jeffrey, somebody is, and Liam, well done. It is the Sikh. It's a male Sikh. Jeffrey, people in cars, yeah, on 2 wheels, Jeffrey. And yeah, it is so it's the Sikh, male Sikhs, and they don't have to wear a helmet on. You know, if you go on the building sites, they don't have to wear the helmet. And on a motorcycle, they don't have to wear a helmet. But all of the Sikhs that we've trained, they all wear the helmet. They know the safety value of it. So, dog in the background barking away. But yeah, everybody else. So if they're on here, no male Sikhs watching, then you are all having to wear a safety helmet. So yeah, CBT Element A, introduction and helmets. So yeah, the aim of that discussion, at the end of it, you will be have a better understanding about what you want to go and buy. And if you don't know, then I suppose we haven't had a good enough, discussion. So what would be next? Clothing. And it will be a discussion around jacket, trousers, gloves and boots predominantly. And the main reasons would be to discuss protection, warm and dry. So the protection needs to be, all your body armour in the vulnerable areas like your elbows, your shoulders, your back, and in your trousers, it will be in the knees and the hips. So will be discussion around protection and why you need to protect yourself and what would happen if you don't protect yourself. There will be a discussion on materials, whether that be textile or leather, and the objective of keeping you warm and keeping you dry, and why you need to keep warm, why you need to keep dry, and what's going to happen if you don't keep warm, and what would happen if you don't keep dry, and the effects. Talk about different brands, different styles, where you can go and get it from, and so forth. So it's a good two-way discussion. At the end of it, again, you would have a better idea. Yeah, so if you look in the descriptions below, I'm sure in the description, so I've got the sort of CBT, and it's what it's all about. So everything we discuss as we go through, the videos are down below as well. You can have a look. Why, do I have to do a CBT? Buying your first helmet, different bits and bobs element. So as we go through, but there are other playlists of things like ride in the rain, and so if you're not got the pin lock visor stuff, top tips about ride in the rain, stuff like that. So James, good man James, tell them so not to. Yeah, Doncaster is one of the big ones. It's got the big it's the big J&S there. I actually looked at some land over there a few years ago, but nothing sort of came out of it. It was at the time wasn't right, but yeah, it's a big, very similar in size to the J&S in Northwich. Cafe and this sort of thing on site, but I think there's a bike school around the back of there. But yeah, so good luck again. Buy the best you can afford, James. Buy the best you can afford. That is as simple as that. You would also talk about substitutes. So you would talk about what would be the bare minimum. So denim jeans is a minimum. But you can get denim jeans with body armour in now. They look a pair of jeans with got body armour in. There's certain things you could wear as a substitute, and there's certain things that you wouldn't want to wear as a substitute. And all that sort of thing will be discussed in the CBT. Footwear, being sensible, ankle protection is a minimum. Yeah, you get away with walking boots and stuff like that. We wouldn't recommend trainers. We wouldn't recommend, be sensible. Steel toe caps, yeah, we don't generally recommend, and we talk about why. So good discussion about footwear and gloves, yeah. Good discussion about what gloves you'd avoid wearing, woolly gloves, ski gloves, stuff like that. So why. Fit of everything, talk about that. Talk about costs. Talk about building up layers, waterproofs over the top, lots of experience. The instructors have got a lot of experience, and the instructors want to pass that experience on to you. So listen to them and participate. Listen and participate. And it's all good. You probably don't enjoy being dragged around Tesco supermarket on a Friday night. I can always remember as a kid, this is going back as a young kid, I think it was like on a Friday night or stuff like that, mum and dad drag you, get you shopping. It used to be payday, I suppose, on a Friday. It's the first thing you do, payday. They take you shopping and get the food shopping in for the week from recollection. But how boring is it going around the food? You could probably get your wife dragging you around the food shopping. Oh, what do you want that for? Yeah, this tonight or that tonight. But let me tell you now, you go into a big shop like J&S over in Northwich, and you will quite happily spend all day in there. Quite exciting. So it's a different feeling going and trying this stuff on and buying it and regular stuff. So, well, James, try them. You can tell them that you follow us on our YouTube channel. Tell them that you have been sent by RJH in Manchester. We've got a bike school on the North Oakmere site, and you are a follower on our YouTube channel. They will look after you. So tell them that Robert sent you. Yeah, talk about substitutes, and then I think that's probably about it for element A. Good two-way open discussion, aims and objectives, and so forth. Okay, and then it would be getting kitted out and going out to the bikes. Going out to the bikes. And, you know, we have bikes on site, but depending on where you go and what bike school, I know a lot of bike schools still do bikes in a van, right, drive to the training site and so forth, but so our bikes are all on site. And we start CBTs at 8 o'clock, and we really want to be out to the bikes by 9 o'clock, really. So if we can get you all checked in nice and early, get element A ticked off, and you want to be going out looking at the bikes by about 10 o'clock. Okay. You'll be introduced to the training yard. So this is the training yard. This has been approved by the DVSA for the purpose of CBT training and so forth. You'll be given probably the do's and don'ts of that training yard. You do not ride outside those red cones. That's the boundary. That sort of thing. Bike familiarization. So it would be pitched at your level. So if you've ridden bikes before, a lot of questions. Even if you've not ridden a bike before, there'll be questions, and if you haven't got the answer, the instructor will explain the answer, but pitched at your level. So this is a front brake. This is a clutch. This is a throttle. And if you get a good instructor, he won't be happy with that. If you get a bad instructor, he'll be happy with that and move on. So even if you're renewing, it's very important that we, So this is a front brake. Good. What do you use your front brake for? How do you use your front brake? Where do we recommend you don't use your front brake? What would happen if you use your front brake harshly? How many fingers should you use your front brake? What would happen if you didn't use? So lots of different scenarios on each control. People say, oh, that's too much information. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's being thorough. And if you're renewing, a lot of that might have reminded you, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And if you're a new rider, then it would be instilling that good practice from the beginning. Because the most important thing is that standard at the beginning. And then we can build on it and build, and then that standard becomes the normal. And that would then go with the clutch, with gears, with the back brake, with steering, the throttle. So it's not just, yeah, that is a throttle, that is a back brake, that is a, we go a bit further. So we've got lots of different angles at that same control. Okay, it's very important if you're in a group that you're listening. Because at the end of that discussion, it may be then that you're asked questions on what you've just discussed. So if you're sort of daydreaming and just letting everybody else contribute and you're not really, the quiet one at the back, remember, you may get asked the question. So do pay attention. It is important for you to pay attention. So, yeah, take the missus to J&S's revenge, Paul. Yeah, you got it. You've got it spot on. She might not then ask you to take her to the supermarket again. Just put her off. So, good discussion on bike familiarization. Then it will be something along the lines of best cops. We use best cops, which is daily checks, weekly checks. So daily, the sort of things really we want to be looking at daily. And then the things that we could possibly be thinking about on a weekly that is maybe a little bit more thorough. Okay, so daily checks, weekly checks. Things like lights and indicators, things like your tyres, your pressures, things like your chain. So best is brakes, electric, steering, tyres. Cops is chain, oil, petrol, steering. Some people use bolts, similar sort of thing, but it is those important checks, and not only how to do it and stuff, but why you're doing it is discussed. Keep your bike in roadworthy condition. In turn, that will make you safer on the roads, won't it? But it's not only what you're doing and why you're doing it, but it's also how you're doing it is important. Okay, so daily, weekly checks. Then you would get stands, depending. You could have a side stand, a centre stand. Ideally, you want to be looking at them both. How you take the bikes off the stand correctly. Might be a bit of demonstration, but it'd be a discussion about why, how, what if you didn't, stuff like that. And then you get to practice that yourself. Your first time you're taking the bike off the stand, and then you do a push the bike. So you push the bike around in a figure of 8, left and right, feel the weight, feel the balance. It's probably going to be your first, if you're a new rider, first time that you're going to be using your front brake. You see how powerful it is. So you'll start feel that word progressively, gently at first, progressively. So quite a lot there in element B. It concludes, so element B concludes with starting the bike and stopping the bike. And you might come across this acronym called FIGS or PIGS. PIGS is petrol ignition gear start, or FIGS is fuel ignition gear start. So very important before you even get on the bike that you're able to start it and stop it. Very important. Once that you're happy with element B, element C is then when you get on the bikes. Now, as a school, we want to be at this point before 10 o'clock a.m. CBT starts at 8, so if we can get you on the bikes before 10 o'clock, that's what we're after. It might be 9:30, it might be 9:45, but if we can get you on the bikes before 10 o'clock, then we're making good progress. Okay, and then we're on to element C, which we'll come on to in a minute. So I'm just going to come back into this chat room. Paul, looking forward to March off on the off-road bikes. Yes, so delivery, one's already landed. We've got a few more. One's already landed, but we're going to get them all at the same time. Delivery should be first of, so registered from the 1st of March. Then we've got a bit of running in to do, a bit of add-ons. So we've got some hard parts, a bit more protection on the Honda CRF 300Ls, and getting all clothing equipment sorted. But we're going to be route planning during March, so we'll be out busy filming some different routes for different abilities. So a beginner's route, medium, bit of experience route, and then an advanced route. So we're going to have different routes for your ability. Then we're going to be inviting some VIPs, if you like, so some owners of local dealerships, the Hondas, the Triumphs, the Honda again, Kawasaki. So some local dealership owners, bosses, marketing departments, and so on. And that's going to be, and maybe even the local MCN or whatever. But we're going to be doing that to really springboard it. And all being well, we will be taking bookings from the 1st of April. And I'm going to be in Spain for the month of April, so I'm not going to be around, but I will be looking forward to seeing those videos and things coming our way. So it's exciting times. Good evening, Mr. Rob Davis. So that's that. We're up to Element C, CBT Element C. Remember, ladies and gents, there are many videos below which can help you by watching, and you can always then at your leisure ask questions. So the plan is, Paul, we will be hiring, we will have the facility for you to hire an off-road, on-road helmet, body armour, as in a undersuit body armour. That will be a back protector with a chest protector with elbows and shoulders, and similar on the trousers. We're going to be having some detachable knee protections. We're having all this for you to hire. We'd always recommend bringing what you've already got, because you can substitute with stuff, and we will be providing boots, because your normal road boots will not be sufficient. So we are investing quite a lot in a selection of off-road gear, which will be available for you to hire, and even with a view to buying it, which is a possibility. Just need to ensure we're able to restock it. So yeah, that is all planned. So, John Davis, good evening to you. Depends. So ultimately, you need to demonstrate to your instructor that you can ride unaccompanied, so up front, but your instructor might feel he wants to demonstrate something for you, so he might be up front, but it will be a mixture. So it would be a mixture dependent on your ability. Yeah, it is. It's very exciting. That's all happening. So very exciting. Right, let's move on to Element C, which is then when you're actually getting on the bike. Again, what we need to remember is this is going to be pitched at your ability. So it might be that we're helping you get started off and stuff. It might be that you've already ridden or got some background in riding. So it just depends on your ability. But Element C is when you're actually getting then on the bike, and the first thing you'll be doing is riding in a straight line, stopping and starting using the brakes in what we call the control position. And the control position is left foot down, right foot up, covering that rear brake. That is the control position. So we're just looking for you to move off smoothly, nice clutch control if you're on geared. Oh, nice throttle if you're on the scooter. You know, it's all about showing your instructor that you're sensible and you're safe. But moving off and stopping in a straight line using both your brakes. Now, great video down below. Moving off and stopping. That will be followed by, I think in the syllabus, it's riding the bike slowly. So that's where somebody was mentioned earlier about slow speed control. It's all about the coordination of your throttle, clutch and back brake. Use those three controls together. It's not one on its own. Use the three together. So you've got the the coordination of your throttle, your clutch and your back brake. And smoothly in a straight line. Walking pace. So it's all about keeping the clutch on the friction zone and using the brake to control your speed. Great videos down below. So get looking. Get asking any questions. We have a vast amount of knowledge in the instructors and also in the chat room there are ladies and gents there that have recently passed or passed a year or two ago, or they're actually learning. So everybody's got experience in there that can pass it on. So slow speed control. On a manual, it's a coordination of your throttle, your gas, your clutch, and your rear brake. On a scooter, on an automatic, it would be just your throttle and your back brake. So that's a sort of coordination that we're looking for. Moving on, so Element C, Module 3, these are modules. So Module 1, moving off and stopping, using the brakes control position. Module 2, slow speed in a straight line. Module 3, so Element C, Module 3 is the pupil must understand how to use the brakes. Great video again down below of this. So all that is there for you. It's all the information is there. All demonstrations and stuff like that. So how you can use your rear brakes. And you have a couple of cones. Imagine it's a white line or traffic lights, and what would happen, you know, so you're stopping at a given point. So what would happen if you go through it? What would happen if you're too far short? Why the brakes have to be in the order. We always, front brake, back brake. This is all the information that's on these videos. Videos will help you out. Element C, Module 4. The pupil must be able to change gear satisfactorily. And from recollection, I am going to remind myself because it has been a few weeks since I last did a live stream on the CBT, but I'm sure in the description below that we have a great video on how to change gears. So it's all there. Rob Davis, no, you're not too old. If you've never ridden a bike before, what I would certainly say then, Rob, depending where you are, but we can offer it to you, book in for a taster. You're going to have to do a CBT, but book in for a taster. Come along, have an hour, it's 50 quid, have an hour with an instructor, let him get you going. We did some tasters for 14, 15-year-olds last week, and we've trained in the past somebody that's been 86. So we train people all the way through. So my answer to you is no, you are not too old to start at 57. Liam, slow control because I'm an old fart and ridden many moons ago. Manage it all with throttle and clutch. Yes, you can. You can do it. Yeah, not a problem, Liam, at all. But yeah, when we're teaching a learner, we teach them those three controls. But no, not a problem. I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong at all. Paul Keaton, note 53. Yeah. Yeah, so there you go, Rob. Get yourself booked in. Get to RJH and Northwest. Get on the website, and you will see our locations because we've got a fantastic. You keep going on about it. I do apologise. But it's ticked my boxes today, and I've actually used the words to my website designer. Is that it is a game changer. I believe my homepage on the website is a game changer because you can see exactly what we do, you can see exactly where we are, and that is why we employ the services of our web designer. Where are we then? Gears. So yeah, great video down below in the description of changing gears. And Element C Module 5, the pupil, yeah, figure of 8. So again, it's slow speed, coordination, figure of 8, brown cones. As simple as that. And we've got a great video down below. Down below, all the videos, all this useful information for anybody that is thinking of getting into it. Yeah, and it's really good. Module 5, Element C, Module 6, emergency stop. So, why, how, what ifs, down in the description. All about emergency stop, braking pressures, how to brake. Everything is there. Demonstrations. Bit too far from me, unfortunately. In South Devon. Come on, Rob. Get yourself up in a B&B. We'll look after you. We will look after you. CYA. Hey, there's another CYA. I'll have to Google that. And of course, thinking about it is see you all. See you all. So South Devon is not too far, Rob. Get yourself up to the northwest. You will not regret it. Good evening, Mr. Christopher Booth. Yeah, so we use Kawasaki Z125s. We use Honda CBF 125s. We use Honda Grom 125s. We use Yamaha YBR 125s. We use Suzuki GSX 125s. But the particular bikes that you're referring to in the thumbnail are the Z125s, which we do use. Yes, we do use them. Element C, Module 6, emergency stops. Element C, Module 7, rear observations, so mirrors, indirect, shoulder checks, lifesavers, direct. And again, in the description below is rear observations, a demonstration. I think that's me doing that, a demonstration on a pan-European. Yep. All of our big bikes, all of our A2 and all of our A bikes have heated grips. And yeah, if you've ridden a bike with heated grips, all the best, Liam. Thanks for joining us, mate. If you've ridden a bike with heated grips, you won't go back. Yeah, you will not go back. So yeah. Mirror, shoulders, why, where, when, what ifs. Element C, Module 8, rear observation, OSM, PSL. That's junctions, left and right turns. OSM, PSL. So you simulate left and right turns, 7 options. You know, and that's, you know, just before you go on the road, really. Element C, junctions, is almost at the end of it. OSM, PSL, observations, signal, maneuver, position, speed, look, and it's a system you will apply on the road. So very, very important. Element C concludes really with a U-turn. So, and that is, what a U-turn is, where you would do a U-turn, where would you not do a U-turn, why would you do a U-turn, all this sort of thing. Again, it's slow speed. So you get to do either a rolling U-turn or a stop-start U-turn. We can do them both, but again, down below, some fantastic videos on OSM, PSL, junctions, and U-turns. So all this information. So when you go, if you're watching the videos, when you go for your CBT, you will have a really good head start. Then that really for us, we have 1 o'clock. So 10 o'clock start on the yard. 9:30, 9:45, great if you can do it, but latest get them get on 10 o'clock. And then we need to be off by 1 o'clock, really. We don't want to be on the yard still doing Element C after 1 o'clock, because then fatigue starts setting in, the concentration levels start deteriorating, so it increases everybody's risks. We don't want that. So 1 o'clock is a good cut-off point. And then it's lunch. Drinks, lunch, refreshments, if you like, talking about Element D. Element D is the pre-road talk. So when I do the CBTs, and I don't say to you, I don't say to my pupils, go and get a sandwich, meet me in an hour. I always try and get everybody to get their lunch, and then we can carry on with Element D whilst they're having the lunch, and that tends to work. It just keeps things moving. But Element D, 30 minutes, 45 minutes tops. 30, 45 minutes tops. Two-way open discussion. Legal requirements. Need to understand the high anticipation of other road users. Hazard perception, attitude, rear observations. We discuss road positioning, importance of following a safe distance, sufficient distance, and riding under the influence of alcohol. So quite a lot of discussion there on Element D, which is before you go on the road. So a good two-way discussion. It's a good opportunity for you to get anything out that you're unsure about and stuff. And it's that really on concluding Element D is where you sort of instructors deciding, well, you and your instructor mutually are deciding about going on the road. So that's what we'll move on to in a moment. So Magic, good evening. Heated grips are really nice, but only a madman would have them over 50%, 70%. They do get a bit warm. Yeah, they do. Still have Rob's voice in my head when I ride even now. Yeah, we get that. People say, your voice never goes away. Up to speed, Stoke-on-Trent. Don't know what you mean. Rob's ahead of the game. Yeah, I am ahead of the game. Sophie, stick up for me. Mark Gardner, never too old. Last rode a Honda CB250 in 1977. Not ridden since I started again and passed my DAS last year at age 65. Fantastic to hear, Mark. And that's the sort of thing Rob needs, that. 57, am I too old? No, you're not too old. But what I would say, Rob, is go for a taster. So get your local bike school, go down. I'm sure most schools would offer a taster before you do your CBT, and then listen to your instructor. You know, and he might say, great, Rob, you get your CBT booked. Or I might say, do another taster. You know, we have both scenarios. Everybody is different. So road ride. You'll have a bit of a chit chat about, well, we call it a pre-ride briefing. So you talk about how the radios are going to work and stuff like that, and also what's expected of you on the roads and the sort of things you're going to be covering. But ultimately, everyday stuff. Junctions, roundabouts, gradients, bends, traffic lights, pedestrian crossings. You'll do a U-turn and emergency stop on the road. And you'll also should be doing a hill start. So you get a big mix of everything. Now, a good instructor on the road will manage the route depending on the ability of the trainee. So what is the point in taking a 16-year-old with no road experience on a multi-lane roundabout or a busy yellow box traffic light controlled crossroads? So it's got to be manageable. Now, if you're a road user, I think you might cope with that a bit better. But if not, so we do tailor the road ride dependent on the ability that we would expect the individual to give us. So always let your insurance companies know of any modifications. That's the important thing. Always make sure your insurance companies are aware of modifications. Road ride is very, very important. It is all about safety. It is all about showing your instructor that you are able to go out on your own. You're able to go out on your own safely. It's a minimum of 2 hours. So you will be on the road for a minimum of 2 hours. If you have been given your certificate of completion and you've only been on the road for half an hour, then that is against the rules. It's not good. Nothing to be proud of. You need to be on the road for a minimum of 2 hours. You need to have been able to, you need to have done a U-turn and emergency stop. And, you know, most CBT routes will cover all of those other areas, like traffic lights, pedestrian crossings, gradients, bends, junctions, roundabouts. So providing that you've demonstrated during the 2 hours that, you know, you're learning, you've got a good approach out there, a good attitude, then you should be fine. But again, listen to your instructor. Any feedback, positive or negative, but if you're unsuccessful, he doesn't think that you're going to get your certificate, and ask him why and be constructive, take it all on board. And all being well, you get your certificate, and take the feedback for you to get out and take on board how you can develop your riding further. Listen to your instructor. And happy days. The CBT, then you're done. And your CBT, remember, lasts you for 2 years. So a lot of people will just use it to get the full bike license, but people do regularly renew the CBTs because that's the way they get about. Yeah, that is the way they get about. And I think that's pretty much the CBT covered. The official name for a CBT certificate is a DL196. As we said before, you don't need to carry it around with you, but keep it somewhere safe. If you need to produce it, you always get the producer, I think, to, as I said, photograph it and keep it on your phone. And you can show them, and then if that doesn't suffice, then you can get the original from home. But if you do lose it and you need a copy, there is a charge. Okay, so there is a charge. You might want to go and do your full license. If you do, listen to your instructor. He'll tell you maybe what course you would want, because as a school we do different courses. And yeah, that's about it, I think. So not bad. That, what are we on? Been on 8, 9, 32 hour and a half, 1.5 hours. Pretty good going, isn't it? So has the video helped? Has the video helped you? Has it made everybody want to go and book in a CBT if they've not already done one? If that's the case, then that's my job completed, isn't it? Yeah, car drivers should do a CBT. Yes. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. But, yeah, that would be good, wouldn't it? So I think we're pretty much wrapped up then. We didn't get to our 100 viewers at once. It was topped at about 20-ish, I think, tonight. But remember, our record was 62. Haven't had a 62 for a while. Record was 62. So we'll keep plugging away at it, and we will get there eventually as the popularity grows. But yeah, I think that's about it for tonight's topic of CBTs. Yeah, so we've already got a playlist of live streams, and I've scheduled a couple there actually. So the next, so we've got Sunday the 20th, Bob the Biker, Wednesday the 23rd, Module 1. Okay, so get those in your diaries, get those reminders on, and we'll get. So James, yeah, when's the next live stream? Yeah, screens for. So Sunday, Bob the Biker, next Wednesday, Module 1. All the best, Paul. Thank you very much. Yeah, and I think I'm pretty much done. So I'm going to go and go and chill out, watch a film, have a nice cup of coffee. What can I say? Thanks very much for watching. Thanks very much for contributing. It's been a blast. And catch up with you on Sunday. So check in again on Sunday. All right. Stay safe, everybody. All the very best from me. Thank you. Bye.